morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Is it really a good morning? Is it really a good morning? I want to ask you need to ask yourself if it is it a really a good morning for our country? Is it really a good morning? From being the one that worked in the VA hospital, federal hospital at the age of started at 18 into 19, right? You can see my title up there. Look at my title at the bottom, right? And then look at my thumbnail. I'm going to give a little history about me working in the VA hospital again. Now, in my descriptions, I'm going to have, there's a couple of parts of me working in the VA hospital and how I landed that job. I'm going to put it down in the description. I didn't have time to put it in the description, right? But when I have time, I'm going to put it in the description, right? So I'm going to give a little background on how I landed the job working in the VA hospital. I just started out in high school, right? I went to school. I'm not going to disclose the high school that I was attending, but if those know, they know, right? I went to high school. Being that I went to high school, I was having difficulty in the high school because I knew a lot of people in the high school. So hanging out with the wrong crowd, right? That they consider hanging out with the wrong crowd that they consider at the time, but I didn't consider that. I was hanging out with my friends and my boys, right? And they was doing things in school. Was I doing some of it? You guilty by association. They was walking around. They was smoking weed in school, in high school. They was walking around smoking weed in high school. Being that I was with them, and these are, people from my neighborhood, I want to give a big shout out to my boy Manzi. May the Lord bless his soul. May he rest in peace. My boy Manzi. If you know Manzi, I was in high school with him. Me and him was in high school. Yes, my boy Manzi, yes. If you know Manzi, you know Manzi. My boy Manzi, right? Walking around with Manzi. Me and Manzi, we was walking around school. I'm not going to say, but they was blowing it. They was smoking. And being that I was walking with them, they targeted me and told me that I was with the wrong crowd. I'm walking around high school. I'm smoking weed. But you guilty as association, right? And I knew that. They was asking me who was smoking weed in school. I said, I don't know. I don't know. So the gyna counselor, she pulled me in at the time. She called my mom's. And basically, I was just having problems in the school anyway, right? Because I knew a lot of people. I just was doing things in high school that I shouldn't have been doing. I should have been focused on my classes. But I was into sports. I was into sports, man. If you know me, I had huge calves. Every school I went to, they put me in sports. They put me into sports right away because they see my calves. My calves always been huge. If you know, you know me, right? So they gave me an opportunity. They took me out of high school, right? They took me out of high school, and they had a program going on at the time. They had a program going on. The program was up there where I lived at. Yeah, it was up there where I lived at 190th. Yeah, the program was that I go to school 1 hour and I work 7. I work 7 hours. I work 7 hours, right? So I would go to school. What happened? All right, let me back up. They got me out of the school, but They didn't want me in Taft no more. It was an alternative program that was going on, and they chose me. So it was my mom and my daughter's mother at the time. She was there, and me. We had a meeting in the back of Jacoby Hospital in the Bronx, up the by Pelham Parkway. If you know, you know. Right? I went back there, and I was talking to the guy. He was like, listen, we're going to put your son into this program. At the time, I'm young. I'm 18. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, he said, yo, if he's do right, this is an alternative GED program, but it's in the VA hospital. They put me there. That, number one, that was my blessings right there. That was my blessing. I was real young. I just had my daughter. I was 18. I had my daughter when I was 17. My oldest daughter had, when I was 17 and I was 18. So I started from 18 and 19 in the VA hospital, right? So he was like, and then at the time, my cousin was working there, Freddie. May the Lord bless his soul. May he rest in peace. Freddie was working there. And he also was living up there where I was living at. He was living right up there, right? So he said, yo, Austin, you got that job? I said, yeah, he was working up in there. I don't know what job that he was doing, but I didn't see him, right? But nevertheless, he said, Austin, stick with that job. You're going to be making a lot of money. Even the person that I was talking to said, Austin, stick with this job. You're going to make a lot of money. Now, I'm 18 years old. I got a federal job. At 18 years old, ain't nobody was getting no federal job. Not where I come from. So right there, that was opportunity right there. That was a big blessing right there, right? So I landed the job. I got the job. I just went right in because it was a GD program / job. So we were meeting the office downstairs. It wasn't a lot of us. It was maybe like 4 of us, maybe 4 or 5 of us. 4 or 5. It wasn't a lot. So we would go to school. And then after we finished school, we would go to work. So my first job ever working in the VA hospital was I was working in the morgue. I was a morgue technician. I was coming up under an old timer in there. Now, it's a moral to the story that I'm going to talk about. I was coming up. He was training me. This is true. He was training me in the morgue. I'm working in the morgue. I'm working in the VA hospital. He's showing me brains. He's showing me things inside the morgue. We went up maybe like 2 or 3 times. We had to get the body. Before the priest go in there, he blessed the room and stuff like that. We had to go get the body. Right? He's training me. But I haven't gotten to depth yet. Oh, sorry. Let me double back. The first job that I had was a health information, meaning a specialist in fouling, right? That's the first job I had. That's the second job. I was fouling for a big doctor in the VA hospital at that time. I didn't like fouling because I just didn't like it because I wanted to go out. I wanted to meet people. I wanted to meet the veterans. I wanted to meet people around the hospital. I didn't want to get stuck inside a doctor office, picking up the charts of the veterans, of the patients, and giving it to her. And that's it. I wasn't doing nothing. I'm like, I ain't doing nothing, so I'm bored. I'm 18 years old. I'm like, yo, I don't like this. So I guess she made some moves and got me down to the morgue. Now we're going to pick up the story. So now that's the second job, the morgue. I fit perfect in the morgue. I love the morgue. I love taking care of, I ain't gonna lie. I love taking care, God bless the dead. I love taking care of the patients that passed away because I wanted to know death at that time. I wanted to know death. And I saw death inside the morgue, inside those little like refrigerators where they put the bodies in, to put them on ice. I saw jars of brains. I saw all type of stuff inside the morgue. The old timer was teaching me. He said, listen, he told me straight up. He said, let me tell you something. You are a soldier. And he wasn't the only one that told me that. He said, just because you work in a federal hospital, it doesn't mean that you're not a soldier. He said, look at this. If we was at war right now, and we was in a third world country somewhere, we was in a country, we set up tents where that we can take care of our wounded, you would be serving inside of the military. You would be taking care of the wounded. You would be tending to their wounds and everything else. You would be taking care of them. He said, well, this is the same way that we are taking care and honoring honoring our soldiers and veterans that fought for this country and passed away. He said, this is no different. He said, I don't want you to get that inside of your mind that you are not serving your country because you are serving your country. You are serving your country because you are given this opportunity to help your fellow countrymen. Doesn't matter who they are. And I said, wow. And that always stuck with me. That always stuck with me. And why did that stuck with me? Because he dropped a jewel upon me when I was young. And it always stuck with me. And I looked at it at that way. I don't look at it no other way. That I have served my country by taking care of the veterans, right? So whatever reason, I left the morgue. I was there for a while, but I left the morgue. I didn't really get into the actually practice and everything else. Now look at my thumbnail. You see two people up there. They're taking care of the body, right? I also got that. I was filing. I was a housekeeper. I was escorting. Yes. Then after that, they put me to escorting. Now, escorting, that's my job. Now I'm in the VA hospital picking up the veterans and patients that's in the hospital by stretcher and by wheelchair. They was loving it. I also talked to our wounded veterans, those was disabled in war, and fought in the war. And they said the same thing to me. They said, young man, you are serving your country by taking care of us and making sure that everything is okay. Picking us up and taking us to our appointment and bringing us back to our room, you are serving. You are a soldier. It doesn't mean that you are not shooting with a gun, but you are taking care of us and you are tending to our wounds and our disabilities. So I looked at it that way, right? If you are in the building, have you ever served for your country? Have you ever served for your country? Put yes or put no. If you are served for your country, that doesn't mean that you serving the armed forces like Army, the Marines, the Green Berets, the Navy, the Air. There's other places how you serve. The city in the state, that's also serving your country. But we know that federal is at the highest degree when you are serving. And I did that. Why am I saying this, right? Why am I saying this? Because I have the right to say it. I have the right to say it. I have the right to voice my opinion, right, about what's going on in our country. About the men and women that's fighting this war that we shouldn't even be fighting over their fighting. Having lack of empathy and having lack of care. Now, a portion of the American people is going to say we should be over there And the portion is saying that we should not be over there, right? I'm going to play devil's advocate and say that we shouldn't be over there. We should not be over there. And the reason why we over there is because in the future, right, which even time is going back, but in the future, as the future progress, but the time is really going back. But I need you to understand that, but you're going to understand it that in the future, we are going to be bankrupt and the country is going to be done. We are on the brink of that right now because you know why? It's because those in authority place so many people with all these billions and billions and trillions of dollars over here and say F it. Say F it to all of us. Do you know how many people that's rich over there that got millions and billions of dollars? They don't even supposed to be having it. The wealth of justice and balance is not spread out evenly. It's not spread out evenly. Why? It's because we have those that's selfish in our country. Selfish. They want everything to themselves and don't care about nobody else or who they stomp and destroy. Do you understand that? This is what's going on. And this has been going on for so many years by those that in charge of the country, both sides. The decisions and the things that's been made in the past, in the present, this is all wrong. We're in a deficit of trillions and trillions of dollars and everything else. We can't afford the war. We can't afford to fight anybody. We are putting more debt upon us. And you know why we at this? I know a lot of people is not religious, and I know and understand that. I know and understand that. It's because we befriend the sick, barbaric, devil, demon, mindset entity. Yes. That placed us in this position by befriending this thing. This is why we are in this position. As a people, as a nation, as a civilization. Right? And we know and understand that this is wrong. A portion of Americans is going to stand up, and a portion is going to go with this sick, barbaric, devil, demon, saying that we need this in the future. If we don't take care of this right now, we are going to be in a crisis. If we never would have befriended this devil, demonic, evil, twisted, and I'm not talking about a human being, I'm talking about an entity that we cannot see with our eye. If we never befriended and took the offer that has been given, right, to people, we would never be in this position if we just would have followed the rules and regulations of the Alpha Omega, the Supreme Being, the Almighty Lord that rules over all of us. If we never would have took the office and everything that it offers us, we would not be here. Certain people have more money than... It's crazy. And it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be poverty. It shouldn't be drunkenness. It shouldn't be none of this over here in our land. But the fact that it is horrible. So I'm not going to play the video, but I'm going to show, I want you to hear the Marine, right, that was beaten upon, took advantage of. Right? I'm going to show that. This is sad, man. I want us to understand this is sad. You know, this is a sad day in our country. The decisions that is being made, it's not a righteous decision. It's not a godly decision. This is a decision based on people's feelings, right, and personal. Like I said, we took the Lord out and replaced it with our own mindset. We would have been here. And it's sad, man. It's sad, you know. It's sad that we are using our military to wage war upon the people and to trick the people into doing things that we should not be doing. You know, there's lives that was lost over there. Lives that was lost. And this should not be happening. But it's happening. Now, a portion is going to say it should. And a portion is saying no. So, I'm allow a portion to say this shouldn't be going on. You ready? Let's go.
For this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel. Let's go. Come on, let's go. America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows you have weakness as leaders. This is wrong, God. And nobody wants to fight for Israel.
You hear all that sound? They dropping them, beating them. Now, this is a veteran. I don't know if he's active or he's a retired veteran, but he had his uniform on. You can go check that out on a lot of these major platforms. They actually showing, but I don't want to show it. I just want you to hear the voice of him crying out, of saying that we shouldn't be doing this, right? It's sad because I have a voice. I have a voice and I have the right to talk. This is not about views and likes and shares and everything else. It's about humanity, right? It's about empathy. It's about care of the universe, of our existence as a people. We got so far away from worshiping the Creator and using spiritual guidance and allowing the Creator, right, to do these things. We replace the scriptures with man-made laws and everything else, which is wrong, and it should not be happening over here. But it does. And most of the people, whether they want to live by it and not live by it, you are living by it over here if you are keeping quiet about this. This is wrong. I don't, morally, physically, and spiritually, this is wrong that this is going, taking place. It should be more of a diplomatic talk than to kill and murder people unmercifully. Life is a gift. Life is a gift. And it's a present upon us as a human being. I don't care if you got a spirit or soul. You have free will to do as you please. The only one that you can blame for you being tricked and everything else is this sick, barbaric devil demon. And if you keep befriending this thing, it's going to take us in a dark, dark path. You can see it, what it's done. You can see it. Why keep befriending this entity that you cannot see physically, right? And we have not progressed beyond the zones of the heavens. I mean, beyond the zones of the heavens. I mean, the earth. Knowing that the earth one day will be decayed. You know it and I know it. You know it and I know it. And we have not gone beyond yet. That's because this sick, barbaric devil demon keeps lying to you. Keeps lying, and keeping this thing going. And I want you to understand this, man. I want you to understand this. And a lot of veterans don't like what they see. They don't like it. They don't like it. Some do, and some don't. There's something to think about. Something to think about. So I want you guys to have an amazing, amazing Sunday. Peace, y'all. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, 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 peace.